Well, hey there, folks. I figured I'd do a little bit of a more in-depth video of the 94 GT here. She's 62,000 original miles and has a built engine. Has forged pistons, all ARP hardware, Edelbrock Performer RPM heads, Edelbrock lower and upper intake, larger mass airflow, Vortex supercharger, fuel management system, full X-pipe, race exhaust, catalytic converter delete, none of those on that racing X-pipe. I do have the factory H-pipe with the converters though. And it pulls really hard for what it is. It definitely makes a lot of power. Now the Vortex, the centrifugal supercharger, you don't have instant boost like you do with like a root style blower. Like you're gonna find on a factory Mustang or Hellcat or ZL1 Camaro, something like that. The centrifugal, it makes the power. It's like a linear type of a power. It really starts making it at the higher RPMs. But yeah, she runs really good. Got a real great engine in her. And I'm gonna go around and I guess show here. We are gonna replace these headlights. Myself and my son, we're not particularly a fan of these style headlights. And even though they have projectors in there, they really don't give you that much usable light. And for some reason, the high beams actually aim lower than the low beams. So we're going to be replacing those with the factory style light. The only difference is where the bulb will be, instead of it being frosted with the lines in it, it'll be a clear. And we're going to put LED bulbs in there. So we are going to upgrade that with more of a factory look. It's got the Cobra R wheels on there, 17s. I know it's got two 75s in the rear. It's got two 45s on the front. Of course, it's a 302 car, 5-liter, 94. It's got some Mickey Thompson street comps on the rear here. Like I said, there are 275. For the year though, she is really super clean. Pretty much same thing over here. She's got a real nice gloss finish to her. And to my surprise, this yellow paint, it doesn't show like dust and dirt all over it like my Jeep, which is that dark blue color or black or any of those colors. This is actually a pretty forgiving color for dust and dirt. Okay, so here we are inside. The interior has all been redone. I really think it looks a lot nicer than the factory black leather they would have had in here that cracks like crazy. But she's super clean. She does have an upgraded sound system. She's got a Pioneer head unit, and she's got some subwoofers, and all the other speakers have been upgraded. The door speakers and the deck speakers, those are Infinity Kappa series speakers. It's got some MB Quart subs. It's got an amplifier to run everything. Just your basic Pioneer head unit there. She is a 5-speed. She's a T5 car. You can see the mileage there. She's just really clean. I'm not impressed easily, especially with a car of 29 years old like this. I mean, she is just super, super clean. The floor mats are dirty because I've had my feet in there, but other than that, I mean, the carpet in here is just like as nice as you can possibly get. Let me try to lift that seat up. I mean, it shows how well this car has been cared for. And I haven't detailed the inside of it at all. This is how it came. Okay, here we are under the hood. Your good old 302 small block Ford. They quit using this engine in 1995. 96, they went to the 4.6 liter single overhead cam engine. This here's still your good old pushrod 5 liter. You can see she's got the MSD box on her there. That's the 6BTM. That there's for the manages the spark and the boost retard, the timing retard for the boost and all that good stuff. She's got the MSD ignition. It's got the Edelbrock Performer upper and lower. It's got the Ford Motorsport there, 65mm throttle body. She's got the Vortec V2. That's the quiet one. That has the doesn't have the straight cut gears. It has the angle gears. I don't know what they're called. You know, the quieter gears, so it's not so loud. It's got the BBK, you know, caster camber kit there, and it's got you know, upgraded shock struts. It's got the trying to think of the brand of the lowering springs. They were all the rage back in the 90s. Oh, I forget, but yeah, it's got the lowering springs in it. Got a couple other suspension upgrades. It has a Edelbrock Performer RPM aluminum heads, and I actually have all the paperwork for those. They were sent to a machine shop, and they were worked over even more than the way they came. It's got all ARP hardware, you know, on the crank and the connecting rods. The heads are studded ARP studs. It's got the Ford Motorsport roller rockers and, you know, basically everything inside of it. This is a 94. In 96 is when all this work was done, and I've got a folder about 2 inches thick just documenting everything. So I think I got real lucky on this, especially having all the documentation. The car originally had a Powerdyne supercharger, and it was changed over in favor of this Vortec approximately 2 years ago. So that's a new unit, and this one is oil fed. So it is fed oil from the engine. You know, it's not a self-lubricated model. It actually uses engine oil. Let's see. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of other stuff. But she runs nice and cool. She never gets hot. No smoke, no leaks whatsoever. Excellent compression. Just a great engine. I don't think it was ran very hard. It's got the strip brace there. I mean, she's just a real nice, clean car. When you take her out and you get on her, you can feel the boost build. You got to get to the high RPMs. But once you get to them high RPMs, boy, she really freight trains hard, especially for a little 302. I mean, it just runs great, and the exhaust, man, it just sounds so awesome, especially at the higher RPMs. But yeah, that's what she's got under the hood. I just I just put a new clutch set in there. I put a McLeod Street Pro clutch kit in there with a new disc, pressure plate, throwout bearing, pilot bearing. Just had the flywheel resurfaced and just basically checked everything else when the transmission was out. Input shaft felt tight, output shaft felt tight. Shifts gears great. There's no grinding or anything. It engages the gears real good. It's got the B&M short throw shifter in there. Really feels good. And the supercharger, you know, it does have all the fuel management stuff it needs. It's got the upgraded fuel rails, the 30-pound injectors. I believe they're 30-pound injectors. And you can see when you get into boost, the fuel pressure goes up when you're in boost. So it's got all that. It's got the upgraded intake fuel pump. So she was built right. She was definitely built right. And to make it that much better, if I ever decide to sell this to someone who lives in California, it still has all the emissions on it, minus the stock H-pipe, which I took off. But if you put that H-pipe back on, it is emissions compliant in California. It's all legal to go in California. All you have to do is put that H-pipe back on, which I have. So that's always a plus. The only reason I'm going to leave this off-road H-pipe on, or X-pipe, just because it sounds so amazing. And then from the X-pipe, it has Borla exhaust from their back. Just, boy, these 5 liters, you can't really get a nicer sounding engine than this, in my opinion. Here she is over here from the passenger side. Alright folks, a neighbor came over, so I had to pause it and talk to him for a minute. Here's the back seat. I know the lighting's not the best with all the sun in here. Yeah, I think the stance on her is set up pretty good there. She's got a little rake to her. Rear end's a little higher. I think it's set up real good there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start her up. This will be the first start of the day. Alright, I'm just going to set the phone here and hope it doesn't fall over. I'm only one person, only got so many hands. Of course, that noise you hear is a supercharger. She's got a nice little crane cam in her. There's how she sounds with the hood shut. I know my phone really doesn't pick up sound very well. Seems like it picks up stuff high pitched instead of what it should sound like, but Can only do so much. Hopefully it can pick up the lobe and the note of that exhaust. I'd rev it up and let you hear how it sounds at high RPMs. It sounds awesome. But I really don't have any way to. I'm only one person here, like I say, with two hands. Maybe we'll go for a ride another day. Anyways, thanks for watching, folks. Let me know what you think about her. Pretty clean for a 94, I'd say.